Hello, crabs, cats, and cuttlefishes. Welcome to your afternoon's entertainment. Get settled in and comfy for today's host, the softest of the marshmallows and grooviest of cats, Mr. Salem.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this afternoon's entertainment. We are joined today by sometimes known as Dimitri's brother, sometimes known as Dimitri's not brother. But today, you're just Nick.
Yeah.
Yes. But welcome.
Thanks.
So introduce yourself for people who perhaps don't know you as any of the things I just mentioned.
Well, I'm known as Ninja by a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
But my real name's Nick, and I'm just I don't like talking about it.
You're a guy. You're a
Yeah,
guy
that's
talking
it.
about things.
I'm a guy.
So first of all, everyone, well, not everyone, but most people know you as you're a very close friend of Dimitri's.
Yeah.
When did you meet him? How'd that come about to start with?
Oh, that actually, I think that started as a bullying episode at school, and I stood up for myself and lost all my friends, and I met Dimitri, and we've always been close since then, and I think we're like 12 or
So
something.
was he bullying you? Were you bullying him,
No,
or others
no.
were bullying him?
We were trying to play handball,
Mm-hmm.
as you do.
That's how everything starts in
Yeah,
school. It's always handball.
It's always handball. And I was being pretty well bullied by other people
Yep.
in the court, and fight did happen, and punches were flown.
Yep.
And he was just another player.
Ah, you're just a bystander.
And he
wrong
didn't
place,
like
wrong
what he's
time.
seen, and he come and
Okay.
spoke to me, and ever since then we've been really close.
Mm.
So that's how that come about.
Well, that's good. Yeah. I mean, it's not good, obviously, the
Yeah.
fight and everything, but yeah, where it sort of started and came from. Then, I suppose it's those sorts of things where you sort of see the character of certain individuals, and especially if that's the first sort of meeting with someone, it shows you, a core aspect of them, which generally most people would think is a good attribute of someone. So yeah, no, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So pretty much how it happened, and then we got into games and stuff, and been really close ever since. We've had our ups and downs, but
Everyone does. I mean, it's weird if you don't really.
yeah, it's kind of like you being fake or genuine. If you're genuine, you do have your ups and downs.
Well, like in families, siblings, fight with each other and everything. But at the end, it's what matters is what matters, and that's generally family. But family's not always blood. Also, it's sometimes the people that you choose are the people that mean a lot to you, and in return, you mean a lot to them. So yeah. So you originally weren't from this area, right? But you did move to this area.
Yes.
Yeah. And that was actually a bit after when I had my store, because I met Dimitri. He came to my store, and then I think it was maybe about between 6 to maybe 15 months later or something, you actually moved to the area. So you ever lived in this area before?
Yeah. So before I even met him, we went to the same school.
Oh, okay.
But we had to move away because my mother needed medical attention, and she had a long recovery. So she moved close to her family, which was back in Armidale.
Yep.
So we went up there, and then, I would always come down and see them over like weekends or a week or something. And then, we just stayed like that for a while. And then I moved down here again, and, moved away again.
Yep.
But yeah, I've come back, and I'm pretty well here now.
Yeah. So have you lived many other places outside of so Armidale, you said it was?
Yeah.
Have you lived many, have you lived in any other states or?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. As I was growing up, did a bit of schooling for 2 years up at Cairns.
Oh, yep.
And I've also lived down in Geelong, Victoria for about 4 years too.
Oh,
so.
go Cats.
Yes. Yeah. So because of the way my family was structured, having two brothers that have intellectual disabilities,
Yep.
mum was always moving for finding that support.
Support, yeah.
Because it wasn't very, it wasn't very strong back then.
Yeah.
It is now, but
Yeah. So that would have been so I'd say you'd be around the same age as Dimitri, so that would be early to mid 90s.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think I'm older. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, I'm
sorry.
80s.
Oh, cool. Wow, he's the flipping youngest.
Yes, he is. He's the baby.
That's how I swear that's how it always is. The tallest person is actually the youngest person.
And the biggest clown.
Ah, yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
the biggest clown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should get him a red nose.
Yeah, it suited him so well.
But yeah, so but yeah, no, like you're saying, yeah, well, definitely from the 80s to early to mid 90s, definitely even is for that sort of support, very very difficult. So that was where a lot of that moving had to come into place. Yeah. But like you said, no, it's much better these days. Obviously not perfect, like as we know with the NDIS and everything, but significantly better than back then. Yeah.
We'll see, because my brother's intellectual disability is genetic. My grandma and pop ran a Special Olympics for bowling.
Oh, okay.
For 3 to 4 years in the 90s.
Yeah.
So I got to meet all types of varieties of that type of disabilities, how they work and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I got a good knowledge on that and how to perceive how if they're being triggered, how you can like settle that person down with not really doing much. So I got a good understanding on that background as well.
Yeah, no. So, my family as well. There's a lot of people with different disabilities, and because of that, I have a cousin that's actually, she's gone all around Australia, even overseas and everything. She's a spokesperson for certain disabilities and stuff as well. So I've had that sort of connection as well. And you do, being around a lot of people with a lot of different disabilities, you do. You get it becomes sort of in a sense second nature of they're just people, but they do have you don't want to be saying special needs, but they do have different needs. They have different needs.
They have different ways of processing the information they're given.
Yeah. And it's not that difficult to make considerations to help them or alleviate any sort of issues if they're having a hard time about whatever it happens to be, if it's a sensory type of thing or again just understanding something. Like with my store as well, I've had quite a lot of people come in that were reading illiterate. Now it's a comic book store, card store.
Yeah,
that makes things very difficult. But good thing about comics is it's very visual, and the card game is very visual as well. And so that's something that would draw a lot of people in. But then obviously them not being able to read or having severe difficulties with reading. But making those those sort of allowances, it's not difficult. And growing up around that, it becomes like second nature of sorts. But again, these days, that sort of information is out there. It's a lot more accessible, and it's taught a lot more, broadly, just in general, rather than people needing to sort of find, these very difficult and hard to find supports and people that teach about that back then. So it's definitely changed for the better. Still not perfect, but we don't aim for perfection. We just aim for betterment, and one day hopefully we get to near perfect with it. But yeah. But so your siblings, you said, so now you yourself, and that's what we're here to talk about as a big part, is you've got health issues. I mean, most people these days do, but you yourself have health issues, and you've struggled with some things.
Yes, I have, and everything's coming to light now and helping me with it. I guess how to deal with it. But it's taken a long time to get to where I am now.
Yeah. So, I'll let you talk about. But initially, what was it that you believed that was the problem or that you had?
Well, going back to when I was 12, just starting, I think it was 7.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was a good idea, and I think it was February. Me and a friend, we went across town with a wheelbarrow, picked some mangoes off a tree. Well, I was the one that climbed the tree.
Of course.
Yes. It took like 4 hours and an hour walking across town with a wheelbarrow full, straight down the main street to Coffs too. So it was all the way, pretty hot and humid. But I got home that night and everything started swelling to the point my eyes were closing and I could barely breathe. I was taken to the Coffs Hospital.
Yep.
I was in there for, I think, 2 weeks.
Oh.
And they couldn't get the swelling to come down. So I was sent home, pretty much in this same condition I arrived in.
Yeah.
And, Mum was freaking out. She went around and asked a lot of naturopaths for stuff.
Yep.
They gave me something that helped bring it down. But, my experience with that is I didn't want to trust the hospital after that. If they couldn't find something and, my life was at risk.
And then just let you go home, which is pretty absurd.
Yeah, and they gave me the advice that it was just the mango tree. You can eat mangoes, right? So a couple months after, I tried eating a mango, and the same.
The doctor
reaction.
said it's fine.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And then we just realized it was that, but then it wasn't just that. I tried nectarines because I loved eating nectarines before I climbed this tree. And nectarines, the apricots, I couldn't have my apricot chicken, which is a good staple, Aussie meal. But we found out that it's all the stone fruit. Even dried, it doesn't really matter. It can even be in small parts of perfume, chemicals, that type of thing.
Yeah. And there's, speaking of stone fruit, is that there's actually a lot of fruits and, things that people eat that they don't realize that are stone fruits as well. So if someone says, like, if you say, are you allergic to anything? I'm allergic to stone fruit. Okay, so they know, avocados, mangoes, they know not that, but, there's some things that people don't actually realize are stone fruits that if they're cooking something, they might put in because it's not obvious that's a stone fruit.
Well, coconut's one of them.
Yeah, there you go.
And you don't really see the pip inside unless the tree's growing, but it's classed as a stone fruit.
Yeah.
Single seed. So, yeah, I've been dealing with that for a very long time. I've always had reactions back to the hospital, medications, EpiPens for a long time. I've tried a lot of antihistamines. A lot of that doesn't work.
Yep.
I'm finding now that it's my body that's slowly flushing it out, but it takes each time I'm exposed to something, it just takes like a full 24 hours longer than the last time. And I've noticed that for a while.
And so this was all started coming about when you said you were about 12. Was that right?
Yeah.
So in high school, which is, puberty and everything, which is quite often when a lot of people, they're younger kids and they can do anything, eat anything, but puberty hits and then that's when things start coming out. Like I'm celiac, so for a lot of people it's sometimes with puberty when that like they can eat bread for days and then all of a sudden you can't. Same with lactose intolerance and stuff like that. So it happened right around that time. Being of that age as well, for like your social and schooling and friends and doing stuff, was it super impactful? I mean, obviously for 2 weeks it was very impactful, but
yeah, I ended up in that 2-week period and off the naturopath remedies because going through puberty everywhere I was growing hair, it was at its worst. And I think it was like 2.5 months, including the 2 weeks of the thing. That's what I had off school because of the eyes, and I couldn't quite see and breathe properly. So it was quite severe, and ever since then, and learning, going through high school and stuff, I'd have outbreaks and stuff, and I couldn't work out why. But then it just come to the realization that when people eat and then they play tip tag or whatever, and they have skin contact after they've haven't washed their hands or stuff, innocent type of stuff, but it's affected me immensely.
Yeah.
So I mean, me being me, trying to, have that male persona of just get on with it.
Yeah,
You taught that in when I was growing up, and
yeah.
you just do that, and it masked a lot of it. And, you just get on with it. Then I found myself isolating myself. You know, the less friends I have, the less exposure I have.
Yeah.
But it's like trying to walk into the supermarket.
Mm.
You got that fresh produce. I have to avoid that whole section completely.
Yeah.
I've picked up cans, energy drinks that I've had, and I've gotten reactions of that.
Yeah.
Simply because people obviously touching fresh
Yeah,
produce and stuff.
And that's and yeah, definitely could can imagine how you just don't know what has happened to anything in your surrounding area, and how someone could actually get that sort of that fear of what's going to happen. I have no idea.
Yeah, well, it's developed into psychological now, where I'm scanning people's trolleys just to see if there's something in there that I'm going to react with, and I should just stand to the side 2 meters or something.
Yeah.
And it's been annoying for years to deal with it, because it can just happen out of the blue, or it can happen when kids are eating mangoes out in their own front yard, and you walk on the grass.
Well, then even like you've got your friends, right? Sorry, you've got your children, but then they've also got friends as well, and you don't want to obviously isolate your children from having friends, but you still again yourself need to protect yourself, and there's that fear of where are they from, what are they doing, and everything. Now, just move this a little bit closer. Yep.
Cheers. Well, that's why work's been hard too, because I was been for the last 2 years now trying to think of something to do that doesn't involve that, and I don't want to have to impact the lunchroom either. I don't want to impact what people are eating.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like that. That's the type of person I am,
And just quickly, what are some of the jobs you have had? Because I know some of the jobs you've had, and like,
yeah.
I'm like, hold up, I think there's a lot of contact with people there.
Yeah. Well, I did like car detailing for about 10 years.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like,
Yes.
Anything's in people's cars. That seems like one of the possible worst things outside of being like a grocer and actually dealing with fruits.
Yeah, and then I've done, I did the first year when they rolled out Coles services, so they did the cleaning and trolleys.
Yeah.
I've done trolleys. And
then that's even worse almost.
Yeah, I know. Yes. The only time it was a tiny bit of relief is when we went through the COVID period and people using sanitizer. That was a bit easier for me, but I was always like touching the ends, not the bars.
Yep.
To try and minimize contact.
Yeah.
But I was always trying to think of things like
that. Well, again, since like being 12 and then over the course of, 15, 20 years to that point, you'd have just automatically, built in these sorts of sort of procedures yourself that you'll go through to do things differently. Just naturally. Which also, in a sense, with the coronavirus and just, I suppose, any other sorts of illnesses possibly that you can get from other people, I suppose, in a sense, you'd be more heightened and less likely to possibly get them from people, because you're not doing that full, just absent-mindedly touching things and grabbing things in places where is more likely for other people to have touched. So
well, that's why I like living up Loana, is because it's gotten that bad in the years that the pollination in springtime or when the mangoes are fruiting, the air is kind of toxic to me, and it's just so annoying to be in such an area where you have to keep monitoring and making sure you're like good 20 meters away from a certain tree.
And that's the thing, is that like if it's real windy, or there just happens to be that one thing of that one gush or something like that, that's tough. That's rough.
Yeah, it is.
But so that was stone fruit.
Yes,
though.
That was stone fruit, and that's what originally I thought it was.
Yes.
And I also thought, I was seeing a brain person in 2019 and diagnosed me with micro seizures. And it pretty much, they said that I was having like mainly overnight, I'd get a snapping that I could hear in my head, almost like you cracking your knuckles type thing.
Yep.
and they reckon that the brain was overloading and doing something and making me forget things.
Mm-hmm.
And that I thought I had both of these things.
Which I dare imagine would just feel like more weight being added on. It's you've
Yeah.
got this, but now you also have this extra thing as well.
Yes.
And then yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so well, it's kind of tough, and it's like I don't want people to put themselves in my position, but in my position, it is very difficult just to put your defenses down, and that's probably why I don't have a lot of friends. Like I can probably count them all on one hand because I don't trust other people.
Well, that's the thing is that again, even just going back to the stone fruit, is that there's a lot of things that people won't even think is stone fruit. And so unless someone actually fully knows you and like the sensitivity that you actually have to it and how debilitating it could be, people aren't going to take it seriously. You tell people, oh, you're lactose intolerant, they're like, okay, so you can't have milk, but they're going to forget. I mean, some people literally do, and have had a conversation that butter's made out of milk. And so they try and give butter to someone that's lactose intolerant. And so that's going to mess up their gut and stuff, whatnot. But to the degree and severity that, the reactions that you have, like people have to be very conscious and aware of that and so I could understand that whole, most people aren't going to be like that. Most people aren't going to care and take that sort of notice. So withdrawing yourself from a lot of people protects you, because obviously you've gone through what happens when people don't, and when you do get those reactions and stuff. Yeah.
Well, that goes along with it's gotten so bad that it comes on the dating scene. I have removed myself in a way from it because I need to trust somebody before I'm even intimate with them fully, before any of that happens, because you never know. You never know what perfume.
Yes, no, like incense, anything like that.
Yes.
Cleaning products, even, because cleaning products have a lot of perfumes in them as well.
Yeah.
But like we were saying earlier, is that these days there are a lot more options that are fragrant free, or you've got your shampoo with your SLS and your parabens and all sorts of things, that they don't have them. But especially growing up, all of that stuff wasn't the case really. But again, still a lot of people are very oblivious to that, and they just buy whatever, get whatever, not aware that could have severe effects on other people.
I've been in like situations where I've been to like Outback Spectacular, and they come with preset meals, and we book these tickets and let them know in advance, but they still bring the dessert that had mango out, and then we had to tell them to take it away and that it wasn't. Then they had to, or the chef had to organize something for me, which was just something basic, but even if you let people know, they'll forget. And it's that small exposures, and you keep adding it on top, and slowly, like, it takes its toll.
So like my personal experience of that is that when I was in the asylum up in Brisbane, they knew that I was vegan and celiac and everything, right? All of that. My third night, the dinner that they served me, they came out and it was bowtie pasta. And so I assume, okay, it's gluten-free pasta, right? Because they know, and all my other meals have always been gluten-free things and everything. My meals are specifically done for me. I'm halfway through the meal, and one of the nurses for that night just barges straight in, and she's like, I was just told that there was a mistake, and that's not gluten-free. And I'm already halfway through my meal. And so, I suffered the consequences of that and everything, but like if that was a situation of where it was like yourself, and there was, mango's the easy one to go with for stone fruit, so we're just gonna go with mango. Mango was an ingredient that was put into something that was served you to eat. And again, you're in a hospital, you're in a place where you're there to get better, right? So, and they know the things that you can and can't have, and you've been served something and you're halfway through a meal, like that would be, no wonder you're going to have some sort of reservations about doctors and hospitals and anything. And again, they're the things are there to help you. So then anything else, like going to a show or just a restaurant, like they're like bottom of the barrel in compared to a hospital or a doctor that is meant to be helping you. So if you can't trust the doctor or a hospital, you know, how can you trust anyone?
Yeah.
That you yourself aren't, like, you know, a part of the whole sort of process of things being made or anything.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, I actually had a similar experience only 3 weeks ago
Oh.
when I was in hospital, and I said I was allergic to stone fruit, and they bring me sticky date pudding.
Ah.
It's like, come on, guys. It was wrapped in a wrapper, and I was glad for that because I was like, I
Yeah.
passed it along to my daughter who was there. But they were told 6 hours beforehand, and they still give me sticky date pudding.
Mm.
So,
And again, hospital.
yeah, and it's hard to trust them now because it's like, oh,
Yeah.
So you know, you go there because you're vulnerable, because you need help, and there's not enough attention being paid.
Yeah.
So,
Mm.
and you know, if I had have not been oblivious or whatever.
Well, yeah, like, again, so, you know, who knows what state you could be in while you're in hospital, right?
Yeah.
So that's why you need to be able to trust the people that, you know, the caregivers, the people that are there to help you get better and to treat you while you're in a vulnerable state.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you're not fully conscious or fully aware of your surroundings, then, you know, again, it's very understandable why you would have, you know, any sorts of reservations or trust issues for being in hospital or just in any situation, someone looking after you, which I dare say would have a whole thing that's going to come into place of, like, the only person who truly can look after you is yourself. And that is and that's just a whole thing that's going to bring about, like, a sense of loneliness as well, because, you know, no man is an island. We all do need other people. Humans, we're social creatures, and we need to have that companionship, that matesmanship with other people. And if you just, it sounds weird if you just can't trust people, but it's not a thing of, like, you can just willingly trust people. It's like it's from learnt experiences that other people don't put in the care that needs to be put in and the attention because of your specific situation. Yeah, which is rough.
Yeah, it is. And, like, you know, further on that, talking on the phone is fine. You get that slight emotional dopamine, but it's completely different to seeing your mate face to face.
Exactly.
Another level, and that's more of the contact that you should be having, and not the phone, because that's still isolating yourself. You get a tiny bit of it, but you lose that sense of touch.
It's that in person of the actual, because, and that's actually a thing that you know, especially since the coronavirus, and then also now with the whole mass stuff of AI, is that humankind is becoming more isolated just as a whole in general. And so we're more interacting with people online, and we're losing that dosage of physical connection of being around people. But you, just as your life is gone, already having that sort of there, and then life itself going like that, is that there's two things that are, like, stacking on top of each other and making things even severely worse.
Yes.
And again, then with the hospital, then things are even worse. Then you go and you try and get some help when things are really bad, and they don't care, and they're giving you sticky date pudding and stuff.
Yes.
Things aren't getting any better. They're only getting worse.
No.
So, yeah.
And that's what I mean. Like, living where I live,
which is also
I have
isolated.
that defense that I can put down.
Yeah.
And it's so tiring keeping that up all the time, and always being in, like, locked in flight or flight mode, because I'm constantly doing it. You can only put your body through so much of that for so many years. Yeah. But that's how tight I need to keep my defense. Otherwise, I end up suffering, you know, for weeks.
And you have children as well.
Yes.
So you also, as yourself, a caregiver and caretaker of other individuals, is that, you know, if you were just a single person and you had no responsibilities, you know, not that it's not going to be tough for you, but the fact that you do have responsibilities means that there's these other sorts of, I don't want to say, like baggage on your shoulders, but there is a weight on your shoulders. And it's not that it's a weight that you wish you didn't have or anything, but it nevertheless is responsibilities that you have. And so you're going to have this thing of you need to be as well as possible because, you've got other people to look after and take care of.
Well, see, with my kids, I let them eat their stone fruit.
Yeah.
But they know the procedure to wash themselves down correctly, potentially even a shower, brush their teeth and all that type of stuff before they come near me. And they're aware of that.
Yeah.
But I don't stop them doing that. This is affecting me, not them.
Yeah.
So, let them have a childhood where they got all the good fruits and stuff.
Yep.
So that's just how I see it.
And I think while it's a terrible situation, I think it's actually also very good for them because they're learning, these things, these serious things and how to deal with them, right? And so with their life going forward is that they're going to be more sort of compassionate towards others that could have anything remotely similar, which I think is what a big problem is like, with the nurses and other people is that people just aren't aware of these things, or if they hear them, they just sort of scoff and they're just a bit too sensitive. They're just, it's just a fad that they're not having gluten or something like that, but they'll take it more seriously, which is, silver lining, I suppose, in the whole situation of it all is that they're going to be more accommodating and aware of others and what they could be going through. So they, they know the things to do, from with the stone fruits and stuff for yourself. So yeah,
well we could throw Dimitri under the bus because last year it was my birthday and he bought me a cake, and it had a cherry on it.
And so a cherry's a thing that some people don't actually probably wouldn't even think.
Yes, and I ate some, and well, I reacted. It took me like 3 or 4 days to get over it, but. Yeah, he did try. Like, he's been saying it for a while, but he tried. It was on my birthday last year.
Wait, he tried to kill you? You mean?
Yeah, well, he said it on the stream multiple times.
No, we have very much proof of him saying that. So yeah, he tried and he failed though, as you were still here.
Yes, he did. But it was just like it was even like one of the what are they, the vinegar ones? I can't think of it.
The Massino or something like that, or
it was pickled.
Oh, yep.
It was one of those, which takes a lot of the nutrients out of it and leaves only a certain percent of it. It's really low too. It's like less than 5% of the fruit. But I still reacted to the residue of this one single cherry in the middle of this cake. And I took a slice that wasn't a part of it.
Yeah.
And I still reacted. But it was fun. It was still fun.
It was fun. I didn't die, so what doesn't kill me makes me stronger. I don't think that's entirely true, but
yeah, but
but yes, yeah. Well, we'll have a short little break. We'll read through some of the chat there because we've not paid attention to chat at all, so they're probably all shriveled up and crying. Alrighty, let me scroll all the way back. Whee! Alrighty, congratulations, Dimitri, on coming first. And congratulations, Viking, on coming second. Hope you're going well and wonderful today, Big White Bear, and Viking, and Dimitri, and Lit also. Yes, it is afternoon for us at this time. Congratulations also, Viking, on the 55 stream streak. Guess who's had too much sugar to try and stay awake? Ooh, I don't think we need to guess. I think that's a sure thing, as we call it. I would put money on that being you. Dimitri had his spitting issue. We'll talk about that later.
That was rather hilarious.
I very much do wish that we were recording that, we were doing that live so people could see. I don't know what Dimitri is saying. Yeah, as per the usual. Could be the accent in Dimitri's typed words, yes. But yes, so we don't read chat in these ones as much. We have our sort of little breaks and everything, but these ones are structured slightly different. We will there will be another stream after this when this finishes though, so don't worry. People will get to see Dimitri and hi Ninja, and we have a hydrate. We're all good with that. You've got your thing, yep. You've got your solo energy. Did Dimitri get you onto them, or did you try them before he got them?
I tried them because the energy drink I normally eat, or eat. The one I like, I've looked at it and it's fine for me to have. So it's hard for energy drinks because there is some type of nectarine and stuff in it.
Yeah,
so,
well, a lot of them with their
yes,
flavors, they like their
yes,
peaches. Yeah.
Yes, they do. So like, I just thought this would be good, and I've read the list. It's pretty good.
Yeah. Guys, what's handball? That's from an American.
Yes, yes.
What's interesting is that there actually is a sport called handball, and that is actually a bit different to the game that we do play in school as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to explain how? Yeah, handball.
We use basketball courts, and normally there's squares all through them, and a player will be in opposite sides. There'll always be a line. You've got to hit the ball with it bouncing before the line, and bouncing only once in the other person's side before they can hit it
with their hand.
Yeah, but it always has to like kind of bounce before your line to go over. If it goes over, then you're kind of out. It's a full.
So it's a little bit like tennis.
Yes.
It's a simplified version of tennis.
Yes, pretty much. But you're using your hand.
Your hand, yeah. Excuse me. Kind of like ping pong. Actually, that's probably better. But ping pong's probably a better one than tennis.
Yeah.
And good afternoon, Yeast. Hopefully you're going good today. Little ball, tennis ball size. What do you mean tennis ball size? It is a tennis ball we use.
Yeah, it was. It's when a tennis ball before the rubber balls come out. Actually,
they have rubber balls.
Yeah, the high bounce rubber balls is what come in afterwards. So then people didn't have to hit as hard, and it became pretty easy.
Oh yeah, not when I used to do it.
Yeah,
it was back in my day. It was just the tennis.
Yeah,
the what is it? The Schlesinger ones, or the super fluorescent ones and everything. Yeah. Like racquetball, hands a racket. Seems painful. I mean, it could be, yeah. Oh,
so it's the technique. Sometimes you hit it with your hand, or sometimes you use
it's
your
all
fist.
about the wrist and everything.
Sometimes you hit it with your palm. Yep.
The thing that I hated the most was when you had to like dive for it almost, and it's coming right close, and you've got to hit it real close down there to the cement, and your hand scrapes as you hit it, and then you still end up out anyway. You're like, why did I even do that? And now I'm just injured. And then you got to go back to the line because it's a line. It's a line of we all just stand in a line, and each one goes in. Yeah,
and it's just like a deck of cards in the way it's formed. We got ace, king, queen, jack. We use that format, but depending on how many circles there were, and I believe ace was the serve, or and that's how it worked. If you got out, you went up in rank.
Different schools, because I originally from Newcastle prior to moving up here. Up here they were doing it slightly different to how we would do it down in Newcastle. So I think different schools did do it very differently, but all very, very similar. And good evening, Kuro. Hope that you're good and wonderful today and colorfully woolly. And hi, Shaka. I hope that you're going good this afternoon. Everybody just saying hello to everyone. Okay, people couldn't hear you, but that's all right. I believe we fixed that up.
Yeah, I think so.
Big White Bear couldn't hear anyone, but that's because he doesn't have his phone anymore. I also have my phone more. Wait. What? Okay, so we've moved it closer. Yep, very good. Lit has absentee seizures sometimes. They drop things when they're super tired. Bodies are terrible. Dimitri's complaining about dating. These episodes really are. Let's humanize Salem's friends so we feel a little bit bad when we give them hot sauce.
No, don't worry about that.
Yeah, I think people are still going to want to give Dimitri hot sauce. I mean,
That's okay.
especially when they found out that he tried to kill you.
Yeah, it's okay.
They're not going to feel bad at all when he's bawling his eyes out, and his eyes are literally melting in their sockets. Do okay, they're all talking about dating AI now. Australia's health system. Oh boy, Dimitri is trying to start fights now. Because yeah, like definitely our health system isn't, it's not the best in the world.
No, it's not.
But when it comes to the monetary cost in comparison to Americans, it is significantly cheaper. Significantly, like for life-saving surgeries, right? My father had to have a triple heart bypass. Out of pocket, I think it was $500 from him. In the United States, it's the kinds of things where you need to sell your house to afford for it. I mean, like the price goes up to something like what, 200,000 or something like that. Like it's insane the differences. But over here, it's essentially almost all covered by Medicare and stuff.
Oh, there you go.
Because it's a life-saving surgery that needs to be done. But over there, you pay up or you just die.
Yeah, or you perish.
Okay, yep. Girls we said about, yes, we don't really read chat heaps. Pin helps, yes, thank you very much. Bum bum bum. Wow. All right. So yep. Now everyone's against Dimitri.
The truth's come
out. Are olives stone fruits?
They are. I can have extra virgin olive oil only because of how filtered it is.
Okay.
I used to love olives. I do. I like eating them, but it depends. If I haven't had a reaction, well, sometimes I'll test that. As long as it's fully pickled and there's another flavor in there, so I always resort to chili or something like that. Yeah, so that there's something else to combat it. But that's what I do. But I like olives.
The other thing to mention as well is that like with myself with celiac, right, is that the way that someone else with celiac reacts to gluten is going to be different to me. So the way that someone else who's allergic to stone fruit reacts, it could be different to you. They could be as severe, or they could be more severe. It could be less severe or sensitive. I meant to saying, but yeah. Didn't know Cherry was at the time, but now he does.
I mean, you can Google what stone fruit is. It comes up with like 24 different fruits.
Well, it's sort of like also, when people talk about just fruits in general, right? There's different definitions because you've got the botanical version of a fruit, which is what literally is a fruit, and then you've got the culinary versions of fruits. Culinary versions are different. So, a pumpkin it's not culinarily a fruit, like it's not cooked and used like a fruit in cooking and food, but botanically a pumpkin is a fruit. It's not a vegetable because of how it comes from the flower and grows and everything like that. There's a lot of things like that. So in the same sort of way with a lot of things is that people, because of how it's used or spoken about or looks perhaps, is they're not going to think it's actually a stone fruit when it in fact is. Another thing with fruits, for example, is like now strawberries. Strawberries everybody knows is a fruit, right? But what's actually interesting is that the thing that everyone sees as the strawberry and thinks is the fruit, that's actually not the fruit. The fruit is the little tiny seed things, because technically those seeds aren't seeds. It's a seed inside that thing. And those little things in the dimples, that's actually the fruit.
Oh, there you go.
And also, you know, it's a what is it? It's a berry and a drupe or something like that. It's flipping strawberries are complicated, but yeah, like the big red thing, that's technically not fruit,
Yeah, there you go.
but it's a part of the thing, and it's certainly not a vegetable. But yes. Yep, Reading needs another battery. That's all right. You can just have a break. Sounds like Foursquare. Foursquare?
That could be the handball reference.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
But so handball though can just be one-on-one, which is just the
Yes.
two squares, yeah. Or you know, in schools sometimes, yeah, you go up to like 4 or 6, or you get real crazy
Oh,
sometimes.
yeah, it's up to like 12 squares.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember when someone would have a terrible tennis ball and it just didn't bounce?
Yes. Yes. That was
Like
always-
it'd have a crack in it usually or something, and that's where it would just not do what tennis balls should do. Rubber was so much better. I never knew. Wow, flipping Dimitri's
Yes.
so young. I'd never experienced the rubber ball.
Yeah, it come out. Well, I think I was in year 9.
Yeah, it's in high school. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Everyone blames Dimitri for breaking bones or poisoning them. Yeah, because you do. 500 from heart surgery. That's so cheap. Yeah.
Yes.
And I mean, like 500's not difficult. Like for a life-saving surgery, it's not difficult to get $500. You know, from family or friends or something. If it's something that you're gonna die if you don't have it. Whereas again, like in the United States, you know, the amount that can be, like I think it can vary, but like it goes from something like maybe on the low end you might be at like 80,000 or 135,000 or something like that, going all the way up to, yeah, again depending on the type of bypass and everything, up to like 300 or even 400,000 maybe, something like that, because it's all different. They're different states and stuff, but yeah, still absurd differences, right?
Yeah.
For a life-saving, not a cosmetic, you know, optional surgery thing. It's insane, yeah. I do love olives. All right, they're gonna feed Dimitri an anchovy. All right, so we're all caught up there. Fantastic. Now, okay, so spoken about the stone fruit and everything, right?
Yep.
But here's where there's a bit of a twist now. We've been talking about all of the stone fruit now. Now, well, yeah, would you like to talk about what this new development here is?
Yeah. Well, how it all come about is, you know, I was doing stuff at a lawn and something struck me in the head. I became unconscious.
Was it Dimitri?
It could have been. He could have been hiding in the bush.
Yeah. 2x4, just waiting.
Yeah, he could have been.
But yeah, so did you find out what it was that hit you, or?
No, I just had a massive cut on my head and it was pretty swollen. But in the hospital, they were going through a lot of symptoms and signs, and they collaborated with my doctor.
Yep.
And now they come out, and I'm got to see a immunologist.
Immunologist?
That's the one. About Mast Cell Activation Syndrome.
Yep.
And when I looked it up and the symptoms, I have almost every single one.
Yeah.
And they're suggesting that I have neuron, something to do with the nerve system, but neuron involvement.
Okay.
Apparently, if you got this syndrome, it's right beside it. And the neuron involvement means that, like, before I react most of the time, I could feel burning on my skin, like somebody's
You've
poured
said this
boiling
before,
hot water
yeah.
or a lighter to my skin. And that's that part of it. It's my body's defense is so defensive. It's reacting to things before they happen, before the rash will appear. But it happens the same with my throat.
Yeah, I think you've said that, like, you can feel it, like, on your lips or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can feel it there in my esophagus. It probably doesn't get to my lungs because I do smoke. And they probably just coat it a bit. It's probably, I'm not going to say it's healthy, but it's definitely saved me to a degree. But yeah, so now we're looking at that, and I've got an appointment on the 23rd of September. But because my case is so severe, I got a call the other day asking to see me on Thursday, but I don't have the money to go to the Gold Coast and to pay for this appointment. So I was like, well, no, I'm currently out of work because I'm still recovering and whatnot.
Because just quickly, because that knock on the head and everything,
Yeah.
it was a concussion ended up with it. Was that right?
Yeah, so I think it took me like 40 minutes to get to the hospital, but I was in the hospital for 6 to 7 hours being treated for a concussion.
Yeah.
And from what they said is this syndrome with neuron involvement will amplify any knock to the head to being what a normal person can take and shrug it off to pretty severe for me.
Yes. Okay. So like you're more prone to concussions than like the average person. Yeah.
Yeah. And when they were in there testing my nervous system too, they were saying that my left-hand side of my body is 20% more sensitive than my right, and I'm right-hand dominant as well. So, I started looking at all the symptoms and stuff and seeing how many I had. And then realizing that prior to knowledge, I've been, doing stuff normally, but then I have an intolerance to most stuff, non-stick pans, general stuff like that. And that makes more sense to me because if I'm not unaware of it and I'm slowly already put my body in a stressful situation, even though I don't feel it, it only takes that little bit to become the anaphylactic stuff to stuff I actually react to. So I've been looking it up and just trying to stay away from stuff that people on a broad scale react to that, but it's very broad. It's like even grass, and I work in landscape.
Yeah. Again, you keep choosing the worst, worst career paths.
Too much UV rays on your face. When I mentioned this and I spoke to my colleagues at work, they always said that whenever I'm in the sun or I get hot, it's like I'm burning to the point I should peel the next day, but I never do. And when I was going through this and just putting it out there with them, it made sense that it's not actually sunburn, it's my skin reacting to all of that stuff I'm exposing it to.
Yeah.
And it's the reaction of that rash.
Yeah, I have a friend. I had a friend once upon a time, that she was on a certain medication that makes her very sensitive to, I don't know if it's the UV rays, but like in the sun, she had to be very careful being in the sun. I spent Christmas with her, and she went out. We went to her cousins, her uncle and aunties and cousins, and she went out and was in the pool with her. And her mother was saying to me, "Is like, she knows she shouldn't be out there. You watch tonight." We went to one of their other families for that night, and she was super bright red. It looked like she was a lobster. She'd been severely burnt. She wasn't burnt. It was the reaction because of the medication. Yeah.
Yep. So I'm just taking steps now and
but yeah,
change
so
a bit of my diet as well.
At the moment, it hasn't been confirmed that it is MCAS, but from all the signs, it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, the doctor said it's too strong of a signs for it. And the thing with MCAS is, I've been to allergy people before. It won't come up. It'll say that you're fine. And it's not, it's just how that process has to happen.
Yeah.
And, the neuron, the nerve involvement as well to make everything amplified tenfold.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
Yeah.
Because it affects, the memory, where I said microseizures, it
Yeah,
affects that under certain conditions as well. So it wraps everything up into one thing versus having multiple things.
Yeah.
So I've just got to get finalized and whatnot, but there's strong suspicions on that.
Yeah. Which and that's one of the biggest things is finding out what it is that's causing issues. But what makes it worse is that if you think you already know what it is, which was the stone fruit, and just going and living a lot of your life, your whole adult life, believing that you just had a sensitivity to stone fruit,
Yeah.
and it turns out that there's so much more that you yourself are already subjecting yourself to without knowing,
Yeah.
and then it's the stone fruit stuff that's pushing you over the edge, and
Yes.
probably other things sometimes as well.
Yep.
But the biggest and good takeaway from this is that you're now at that point of you actually know.
Yes.
Well, I mean, we believe
Yes.
it's highly likely. All the boxes are getting ticked,
Yes.
and providing that actually is the thing. And I mean, as weird as it may sound, hopefully that is the thing, because then it makes sense, and then you know the path to go through for like you said, to change your diet and everything, so you can have as few of these breakouts or any symptoms going forwards. Yeah.
Well, it's like, I think it was yesterday. This is another thing that I reckon it is, because yesterday I was just pulling out grass just past Palem, and I didn't have my shirt on, but when I looked down where the grass touched me, I had a rash, and I could feel the slight burning. It wasn't like a mango reaction, but it was enough to look down, and it was itchy.
Well, it was a reaction.
By the end of the day, I didn't really take anything for it. I just took it easy, because I know heat can make it worse. But by the end of the day that night, it was pretty much fully gone. But I started realizing that just by that thing, that was no exposure. There's no stone fruit at that place. I know that. And it was as simple as that. And it just lines up a little bit more with the strong suggestions of it.
Yeah.
So...
Well, another thing as well is that one, with age, as you're getting older, the body it's able to it's not able to sort of repair itself as quickly, in the sense of, so if you're so let's say you're sensitive to pretty much everything, but you're able to sort of in a sense, your body masks a lot of it. As you get older, your body's going to be able to mask a lot less of that, so you will start having more symptoms come up. And also the other thing is that, so with myself with celiac, right, is that I used to have a lot of gluten all the time, never knowing it was affecting me. But then it wasn't until it was severely affecting me that we ended up realizing and finding out. But now my body's so sensitive that, because of how little of it I now have, is that if I have any of it, my body reacts much quicker and much more severely, because your body hasn't sort of built up that it's not a tolerance, but it's like it's adjusted to constantly being unwell and sick. That itself just taxes your system. But then once you start taking that away, your body starts to repair itself, and you start to become more healthy. Is that any sort of even small amounts of contact with the things that you're allergic to, or that you have a negative response to, even though it's smaller than what you previously had, you can have more of a reaction to it, because your body is no longer in that taxing situation of constantly having to deal with it to try and make you just be able to live your life. So it gets very difficult, and also even confusing, because you're like, but I used to do this all the time before and it didn't affect me so much. Now I can barely do any of it. And it's just so many different things that layer on top of it. But the big main sort of takeaways is that, yes, you're finally actually finding out what it very well truly could be, which means that you yourself can, again, fixing diet and navigating your life to stay away from these things. Your body will be able to repair itself much more than it ever has before, because you're not accidentally, non-stick coatings, anything like that. You're not having all of those sort of not so severe reactions that that you're not even aware are reactions, again, until those severe ones actually end up pushing it over. But yeah, your body will able to actually repair itself, and then that internal stress as well that you don't even know is going on is going to reduce, which, now with the sort of comorbid condition of the I don't remember the name of it, but the other one that you were saying, which affects the brain, and also to do with the micro seizures and stuff, I dare say that, so while that is a separate thing, is that if your body's not super taxed by everything that's affecting you that you don't even know, that's going to get better.
Yes, that's what I'm hoping to.
Yeah.
Because it's pretty much just your body's defense normally has one organ that decides to do the defending, It identifies what you need.
Mm.
In this specific case, it's like sending multiple
Yeah,
organs to do
it's
the
like
same
everything.
thing.
Yeah.
And it's overloading the overloading my system and
Yeah.
taxing it quite hard.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that less exposure and it might settle some of the nerve stuff down. And I hopefully should be able to alleviate some of it.
Yep.
And live a bit better and
Yeah.
easier.
Well, that's the thing is that, sometimes we have things that we can't actually get rid of.
Yeah.
And the best thing we can actually hope for is a reduction of symptoms and of outbreaks and things like that. And that's the thing as well, is that what a lot of people who don't suffer chronic illnesses don't realize is that we change the way we live and how we do things, and we're not conscious of it.
Yeah.
But it still takes a massive toll and effect on our life and on our quality of life.
Yeah.
But to us, it's normal. We don't realize that we're, exerting ourselves more than what, someone who doesn't have a chronic illness is doing. And so we'll do the same level of work as them, but it affects us much more.
Yeah.
And so, by being able to hopefully reduce your body's constantly reacting to things, then that response of it basically, sending everything for the reactions to it, right, for the body's defenses, your body's stress levels, will be hopefully severely reduced. Again, perhaps never to the point that it's on the level of someone who doesn't suffer chronic illnesses, but we aim for betterment and again, realizing all these things that could be affecting you that you didn't even know and you're doing daily, being able to stop that and get rid of that.
Yeah, well, like I said, I've looked at it and I'm like, oh, I've been accidentally exposing myself all of the time.
I'm doing it right now.
and it's like, okay, I need to. It's at the point where I've got to like change how I live now.
Yeah.
So I'm not allowed BPAs at all. So like no plastic or anything. So I'm gonna have to go back to masonry. Those are pretty expensive. But it's the things I've got to do to.
We've got a Freemasons thing. We'll go. Maybe just join up with them.
Yeah, maybe.
They're all about masonry, right?
Yeah. So yeah, that's just steps I've got to take, and they're big steps because well, I've gone 30 plus years doing the same stuff, and it's a big change.
And it's definitely not an easy one as well.
No, it's not. I've started making my own bread though, because they're in plastic containers. I don't trust it now.
Yeah.
But that's going all right. I'm learning how to do some stuff. So it is a massive change, but I'm enjoying the fact that I'm
there's
learning
silver linings.
Learning new things and more conscious, because I do think more positive that I have this just because of everything and less exposure to it. I'm feeling better.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
Because I haven't known, and you go home and you cook with I have a hectic life, work 8 hours, drive an hour to work, an hour back, and then, cook with a non-stick pan, have something to eat real quick, shower and all that. You got less than 7 hours after that to sleep and to do it all again. Now I'm starting to change that, and in the last week I've noticed little things where I feel a little bit clearer.
Yeah. And I think even from that's going to be a massive positive sign for yourself. So yeah.
And bloating was a big issue for me.
Yep.
Apparently it's a very strong sign, the gut for this thing.
Yep.
And I've felt lighter just taking small steps in a week, and that's why I'm pretty sure that's what it is. But I've done little things to change my life because it seems to be making me feel better anyway.
Yeah.
And having that little bit of knowledge, I'm not so strung up all the time, so defensive.
Yeah.
Because I can take those steps to better.
And feeling that, even though it's a little bit, but feeling that those little bits of things is positive reinforcement in the brain. And so that's again, as we spoke about before, that whole isolation and everything is that definitely gets you down. But having this now positive thing is that being more aware of stuff, and yeah, it's a positive. It's a much better outlook now that you're like, this is definitely very much what a very real could be. Regardless, though, the changes that you've made have already made a positive effect. And that's psychologically speaking, that's just a fantastic and amazing thing.
Yeah, it is. And it also takes a lot of strength to do a lot of review. How you've lived your life, you gotta review everything. With the information at hand, and make those changes be strong enough to reinforce them too. And like I said, I do feel a little better. I do know that I'm moving into a different line of work now.
Yeah, hopefully not one that's
should help.
The worst thing you could be doing.
Like pollens, plants. It's
yeah,
it's the worst. But I'm hoping for that to help out. There's still going to be exposure to sun and stuff, but I have noticed that myself. But I'm hoping being fully clothed and stuff, it may be harder, but I can take steps. Change that.
The other thing is that by knowing all these other things that you didn't know now, is that again, it's probably almost impossible to make it that you will never have any sort of contact with things. But by knowing that there's all these other things, it's not just stone fruit, it's all these other things, is that you're going to be able to reduce all of these other things that, perhaps when you are having contact with stuff, it's not going to be overtaxing your system, that it's pushing it past that point that it used to constantly be doing. Which is a very good outcome and outlook for going ahead, going forward.
That's it. I mean, I've not been able to sleep properly for years. I thought that was just normal. I thought I was just ADHD jumping around in my head, and that happens. But it's also a part of this umbrella. And that's why I was just amazed that it all fits. So.
And it's insane sometimes how much we can think something and believe something is what it is, but then one day something else comes along and you're like, this makes so much more sense. Everything clicks in with this. But and the unfortunate thing is that a lot of people are actually in that situation, but they never find out about that stuff because these things aren't super common things sometimes.
I would be in that same boat if I didn't get knocked unconscious.
Exactly.
That's what led to this.
Yeah.
It took something to knock me out to get the right evidence in the right place to get me where I'm at now. But if that had never happened, I'd still be like, no stone fruit, but still exposing myself. And I guess over time that'd be so stressful on my body that who knows what could happen.
Yeah, it's interesting because for myself a similar sort of thing happened, is that when I closed my store, I actually injured my back, and from that I had to go and see my doctor, and then I had to see a specialist, I had to see a rheumatologist. That's how we found out that I actually have arthritis in my spine. If I didn't injure my back then, I wouldn't have known about the arthritis for who knows how long, and then that's so many more years with me not, going to certain therapies and stuff to try and help alleviate some of the issues that were going to be happening very soon, and getting those sorts of supports and the strength in the certain areas and stuff like that. And interestingly, that's all what also then connected in with me for them finding out that I was also celiac and, so many things. But again, like that all came from me injuring my back. And it's interesting how many times you end up having to actually get injured to find out that you've got something that's not even really fully connected to what happened. You got hit on the head, you find out that you've got, this sort of, this condition where you're sensitive to a lot more than what you originally thought. I injured my back. Turns out, we found out that, you got arthritis in your spine. That had nothing to do with me injuring my back, though. But so what the takeaway here is people need to get injured more often to find out what they really have going on with them.
Mate,
There you go.
Then you can get some clarity behind it, and you realize for years I thought I was going insane and going crazy because
Mm.
skin was itching every time
Yeah, yeah.
in that stuff, and I thought I was just going crazy.
And also, like you said, the memory issues that you were
Yes.
having as well, from the micro seizures, which you didn't even know that you were having micro seizures for a long bit of time. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah. I took some medication for it, and it seemed to work, but it made me feel horrible. So then I moved to medicinal
Yep.
medication,
Mhm.
and that worked for a long time. But then I realized, and I haven't had it for the last month, that was actually masking my nervous system. It was dulling it down enough so I could still function and felt normal.
Yeah.
And now I'm finding out that this is all one thing.
So that was speaking specifically about medicinal marijuana. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's the thing, is that I know with that there are a lot of health benefits and stuff. The problem is that there is also a lot of other. It does a lot of stuff. It can do a lot of stuff to the body and to the system. Yeah. So definitely 100% there are benefits for it, but at the same time is that you might be getting the benefit, but at the same time you could be getting a negative, which happened to have been the case with you. Like you said, it was masking the what's it called? Yeah. But yeah, again, another step forward in knowing what you need yourself to get better, or at least what you don't need.
Yeah. And talking to my kids is where I really realized recently that I have massive memory issues. Missing so many blocks. They were just asking me about stuff when they were little, and then it got me thinking. I couldn't quite remember clearly. And then it got thinking even more, and between like 21 to probably 24 or 5, I don't remember much that happened. That's a massive blank for me. And I've got to get that looked at as well. But maybe it was because I've been doing this job in that time, and my nervous system was overloaded.
Yeah. Well, stress can do so much to the body. And what a lot of people don't understand as well sometimes is that when you talk about, your body being stressed, it's not so much that like, oh, you've got all these bills to pay, and like it's not so much that it's a psychological stress. It's a physical stress that your body is going through.
Yeah.
And you sometimes aren't even conscious and aware of it, because it's not so much the mind and the brain that's doing it. It's the actual body that is stressing and going out, and you're just doing what needs to be done, or what you believe is how you live your life.
Yeah.
Which makes it even more difficult.
Yeah, it does. Well, in that time period, I believe I was just on autopilot, and sometimes I am. I get so stressed that it's your subconscious driving it. You're on autopilot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. But like speaking about like with the memory loss and stuff like that, that's definitely especially when it comes to children and those moments and stuff like that. It's a huge thing when you become sort of conscious and aware of it. It can be a terrifying thing.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, because it's part of your life that apparently you lived it, but
where's it gone?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is a unbelievably difficult thing to process sometimes.
Yeah.
And especially when like you said, is that you weren't fully aware of it until questions were asked.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is that a lot of people, like with Alzheimer's and dementia and stuff, is that they themselves aren't aware of what they're losing.
Yes.
And that's what makes it so difficult. Yeah.
Well, I know when I lived in Geelong a little while ago, I had 2 episodes there within 8 months of each other.
Yeah.
I don't remember what happened, but I blanked out, and I just remember waking up in the hospital. And they were 8 months apart, and everything's just blurry. But my mother's told me that she was trying to resuscitate me, and the ambulance were called, and I was in straight away, and they were testing my nerve system. It wasn't really responding properly. And I was out for hours. Wake up the next day, and I've got all down my legs. They've got a dry needle, and they've stabbed me on 2 separate occasions, just to test all the nerve things, because I wasn't responding. And that happened twice over an immense amount of stress I was going through at the time.
Yeah.
And, you know, them linking them to, you know, the mass activation cell activation syndrome.
Yep.
It makes sense
Mm.
because stress is also a massive
Yeah.
trigger, but it's just that my defense system overreacting and shutting everything down
Yeah,
to
yeah.
defend me.
Mm.
But it's that whole process.
Yeah, yeah.
It hasn't happened in a while, but I've always told people and made them aware that
Yeah,
high
yeah.
amounts of stress will do that.
Yeah.
Especially when I'm in the hospital, so they know.
Mm.
But I've had those 2 incidents. They couldn't tell me what was wrong.
Yeah.
And you know, you're breathing now. Off you go.
Yeah.
and that's just another state's healthcare system.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
Yeah. Yeah, no. But definitely in a better position now you
Yes,
are,
yeah.
knowing the things that you know and learning about the things and
Yes.
stuff in comparison to what it was back then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, which is very good. I had a friend once upon a time. She was constantly having issues, always going to the doctor, and they could never figure it out. And they ended up, it was ELD, EDLH, something like that. Ehlers-Danlos something or other syndrome. I actually know a few people with it, surprisingly, but it's a condition that's actually quite rare, and not a lot of people know people that have it. But yeah, it took, I think, her like 6-7 years of just having issues and going to the doctor over and over and over. And I can't remember what it was, but it was some sort of thing where something happened, and then a doctor was like, it's this. Like, it very well could be this, because this just connected with this other thing.
Yeah.
And and that's the thing that's got to do with the connectivity tissues with the muscles and stuff like that. So she was super, flexible and everything, but her joints could just sort of, how the if you remember those dolls, right, where
Yeah.
you'd push the button and all their limbs and everything fall down because they're all attached by
Yeah.
strings, and then when you let the button go, it'd pull them tight again, and their body parts would all come back up.
Yeah.
But her body's basically like, people with that condition are essentially like that.
Yeah.
Their
right.
body just falls apart.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, they're like rubber, but not the hard rubber. So yeah, but yeah, no, a similar thing in that, for a very long time, just didn't know what it was, constantly going to doctors and stuff, until one day,
Yeah.
something changed. Doctor said something, and there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what is it? 14 years later
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
14 years. That's a long time. Is it 14? No. 36.
Whatever it is,
12.
it's a long time.
It's a long time.
It's a long time.
It's a
Yeah.
very long time. And, the doctors always just said, yeah, you're fine. There's nothing
Yeah.
there. Allergy people, no, you're fine. We can't find anything. But I was still reacting. And that's where I thought I was going crazy. And it was probably not helpful for the stress triggers, but also my voice, when it does that, is a part of this. My voice change is a part of it. And I never knew that.
Okay.
I was constantly just trying to clear my voice as if, I need a drink or something, but it's not. Not saying this is stressful, but under environments,
Yep.
my voice will change. And it does it all the time.
Yeah.
And that was one thing I was like, I always do that.
Yeah. Exactly what we were saying before is that, we just live our life not thinking that we're doing something, not fully normal. Like, this is just how we live. This is what we do. But actually, it's our body reacting to something, and it's just something that is natural to us because we don't know any other way. It's always been like that.
Yeah.
And again, it just is taking it's taking more out of us to live.
Yes. Oh, well, coming up in the 80s and 90s, we were raised different back then. There was wooden spoons and stuff. You just got along with it. You learned what real discipline was. And, you do that for so long and you just get along with it. And that persona probably led me to where I am for longer. But, you had that stigma. You're a man.
Yeah.
Go on, get on with it. Whether you got a broken leg, finger, whatever, doesn't matter. You've had what, 3 weeks, so you're fine now.
Yeah. Well, the way that I put it for myself is that I was beaten into normalcy.
Yes.
It was the normal was
Yes.
beaten into me. I was beaten until I was normal, and that's why we are so good at masking and appearing. It's what is it they call them, the invisible illnesses and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Is that people look at us and they don't see you any different to any other a fully able-bodied person,
Yeah.
but we're constantly actually going through things that for a long time we didn't even know we were going through. It's just how life was to us. It's just what being alive was.
Yeah, and I still see that today. Like people in their 40s and 50s, you tell them this stuff, they're like, "Oh no, I used to do that. I've worked in this temperature or whatever, and it was fine, you know." But that's them in that scenario.
Yeah. It's
different.
to really simplify, it's very much the whole thing of them not, I don't know if it's not able to, but they're just not putting themselves in the shoes of someone else. And it's
Yes.
because for a lot of people, it's very difficult. If you haven't gone through something yourself, I once had a conversation with a lady down the beach, and I'd spoken about, my depression and anxiety. And she said that prior to her having like an actual massive anxiety breakdown and everything like that, and getting really severely depressed because her house burnt down, prior to that happening, she believed that people that were depressed, they just needed to do things that made them happy. And and we think about that and we know that, well, that's absurd. That's not how it works. But there are people who genuinely do believe that.
Yes.
And she said that it took her to actually experience it until she realized that that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
And it's very unfortunate that there is a lot of people like that, because not all of them will end up going through severe bouts of anxiety or depression, which is good because we don't want people. But what we do want is people to be compassionate and understanding as much as is possible for other people and what they're going through and dealing with. Even if you can't, fully understand it, it doesn't mean that you can't have that ability to have allowances for people to be dealing with things differently to you. Yeah.
Well, that's why I like my upbringing, being around all the
Yeah.
I try less now, knowing that I have it, because I used to try and put myself in their shoes, and with this thing that I've got, it actually makes it worse.
Yeah.
So now I just try and see from their perspective. I like to understand what people are going through and how they perceive it, because sometimes, yes, that's how they perceive it, but it can be perceived from another side too.
Yeah.
And that's sometimes people lock into one perception and they're not willing to see other angles. And I like seeing all the angles because that gives you options in life.
Yeah.
And you can understand what a person's going through versus what they're meant to be doing. Blah, blah, blah. But I just like to understand and get clarity. And
Yeah. Well, I think the biggest thing here, which we can all agree on, is that knowledge is the biggest thing. Yeah. Because, even with your condition is that having that knowledge that new knowledge now gives you the power to change your life for the better.
Yes.
And so the same thing with the other people is that, having the knowledge of, of all the different things going on, right? It gives you the power to have more positive change, whether that is just purely you understanding someone as to the reason why they're doing it, or perhaps for how you will react to them.
Yes.
Is knowledge is the big thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's also breaking down codes as well. Watching somebody, a tradesman, if you can understand from his perspective and try and learn a skill. I like learning lots of skills. But you can decipher a little bit better if you can kind of see it from their perspective, instead of you're trying to sit. You're more amazed at how they're doing it, but you just watch the individual steps. I learn really quickly that way. You write it down on a piece of paper. I'm useless. I am dyslexic. It could be a part of this thing too. And it's also why I didn't go to your card shop for the things. Understanding all those rules, how to play all that stuff. It's like, that's too much for me, and I knew that, so I would stay away from it. But I like to learn all that stuff.
Yeah.
because it does help. You know, you can save a bit of money even though it might not be the same quality. It's still, you might save a bit of money for a while.
Yeah, yeah.
Got to use what is available. Sometimes you don't have that option of hiring somebody to do it.
Yeah, yeah, no, exactly. Yeah.
So,
yeah. Also, I think there's a certain sort of thing of, you know, and not that everyone has to do things themselves, but if you're able to do something that you maybe initially or you've never done before, or you didn't even know that you were capable of doing it for the first time, I think also, you know, you get flooded with those endorphins of like, I actually did this. You know?
you do.
I installed this fly screen. I changed the door handle over. You know, I did this thing I've never done before. I didn't even know that I was capable of doing it, but I went through the steps and I did it. And maybe it's not to the same quality as if you hired a handyman or something like that, but you get that sense of accomplishment, which I think is vital to humans in a certain aspect. You know, is we need to have those accomplishments of, you know, we did something. You know, in life we did something. There is something tangible and physical that we can be like, we did that. We don't need to be calling everyone over and be like, all right, it's not housewarming, it's a handle install celebration. Look at that, I did that.
Yeah.
It took me 3 days, but I did it. Didn't have to hire a handyman to do it in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Did it myself.
Well, that's like I ended up, my car broke down and I had to get the head done, and my mechanic was a bit overwhelmed with his all the jobs he had to do to get in my car. And one of those jobs was my mum's car. Her radiator broke.
Yeah.
It was one of those silly radiators where you got to take off the bumper.
Ah.
Right. So you got to half pull the car apart, but then there's a little sensor, the airbags, and you can't let it touch. Otherwise, I set the airbags off. But I ended up pulling it apart and you know, pulling out the condenser or pulling the condenser forward so I didn't have to remove anything. But I put it all back.
Yeah.
And we ended up sending it back to him, and he said, no, that was the quality his shop would expect.
Yeah.
And he said I did a good job, and then he got working on my car sooner rather than having to wait so long.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it wasn't just the head, it's the cam bolts actually stripped the lifters and stuff, so I needed a brand new head, and I was like, well, I don't know all the torque specs and stuff, so he can do that. But I can alleviate some of that.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
You know, getting that recognition off the head mechanic saying, no, this was really good, and not a single problem. And it did take me 14 hours just to do that,
but you did it.
Yeah,
you did it.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool, but I'd like to do that stuff anyway.
Yeah. And it's understandable. You know, some people like to do things, you know, more physical and hands-on. But like I said, I think it's some aspect of all humans. We sort of we need that sense of accomplishment of actual physical realm things in a sense. Yeah. Because again, it brings it all back to, you know, being in person with people. It's the physical realm is very powerful, and it's where we are. It's where everything actually comes from. You know, yes, the mind and the mental realm of things is you know, unprecedented in its depths, but the physical realm is how we connect with everything. Yeah. Well, I think that's pretty good. I think we've gone through a lot of stuff here, and I think now people perhaps know you a little bit better.
Yes,
and know you more than just Dimitri's brother / Dimitri's not brother.
Yeah, or the guy I'm going to strangle and put mangoes in his bed or under his pillow.
And they now know that his threats are actually real.
Yes.
Because he's actually done it.
Yes, he has.
It's not just the whole thing of where the doctor's like, oh, is your son breaking your legs when talking to Dimitri's father? He actually was breaking his father's legs. And he was actually putting stone fruits in your food. Wow.
Yes,
wow. I don't think anyone is going to have any sorts of hesitations with getting Dimitri to have any sort of hot sauces or anchovies or anything like that. Yeah.
Yeah. There's also reasons why I was picking on him on the stream too.
Yeah, yeah.
There's-
Makes sense.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
yeah, it is.
You try and kill me? You try and kill me? Just you wait and see. Just you wait and see. But yes. Alrighty. Well, I think that's it. Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yep. All right. Yes. Okay. So we're gonna we'll be back in probably about maybe half an hour or so. And we'll be back doing the next spooky game with Demetria that we'll be doing. So if people end up being back around then, I suppose you'll see us all. But
Yep.
but yes, thank you very much for joining us here today and for sharing and being so open with this all. Because it's obviously not something that a lot of people experience, but it's definitely stuff that some people do experience.
Yes.
And like yourself, is that with that soul isolation and aloneness, is that there being other people out there that have gone through it can be, you know, in a sense sort of comforting and make people feel not so alone in a world where we just feel more and more alone every day.
Yes,
So-
and it's important to bring up awareness of
Yes.
some unique cases that this could be too, and it might relate to a few people that are watching, or friends, families that they might know.
Yeah.
These are signs I didn't see for a very long time.
Mm.
I think awareness is going to be a good thing.
Yeah.
To be for people to get onto it a little sooner than what I have.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. But yes. Alrighty. Again, thank you very much for joining us today.
No
Very
worries.
much appreciated.
Thank you, everyone.
And yes, if we see anyone later, we look forward to seeing them. Thank you, everybody, for joining us this afternoon. We look forward to seeing you next time, if that's later or not. Say hi to your mum for us, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Ciao.
Hello, Gingerbread Salem. I see you have a banana threatening me. Well, ease up. Ease up. I mean, I find that quite inappropriate, Colourfully Woolly. You know, well, first of all, my middle pocket banana is not threatening. It's very thin, it's long, but it's soft. It's not threatening at all.